I had to modify them all, and now I have three functioning uh, cold cups, and she probably hasn't used them since.
So, hey, life
So
is
let
good though.
everybody
Life
know
is
out there
good.
there's hope for you if you get the wrong cup. You
This is
can't
how
find that thing.
retirees spend their time. Okay.
Hey, I'm telling you.
Tom, you got to have something
Well,
for us.
I just have a reflection
Okay.
on Dale's comment. That I'm the total opposite, Dale. If it doesn't work, I throw it away. I just the whole idea of being in a disposal. I don't know. I can't worry too much about it.
You might consider having a bin called Dell and just throw all that stuff into there.
Oh,
He can come by monthly and pick it up.
that's
Hey,
true.
there you go. I was just going to say, I know a guy that does that. He dropped his iron, a brand new iron, probably a $70-$80 iron,
Right.
ironing board iron, and he dropped it and cracked it. He said, "I'm getting rid of this. I'm getting rid of this." So he gave it to me. I glued the other piece back on, a little
Right.
piece of plastic. Now the iron is it's a little cattywampus, but I've been using it for a long time. It works like a champ.
Works
So
like
there
a
are
champ.
people. If you're going to throw stuff away just because of those little issues, you give me a call. I'll be down there with my cardboard box.
Send
We'll
an
make this.
email to Two Old Bucks or
Yeah.
leave us a voicemail.
I actually
But
live in an interesting street that if you put something in Sarasota, that if you put something out on the street and you put a note on it, it's got about a 45-minute lifespan
exactly.
before somebody you see somebody reading the note and they pick it up. And you try to be truthful. If it's an old TV, if the controls don't work or whatever, or needs batteries, but I don't know. I like that. Anyway, story. Let's see. Oh, I have a class today. Actually, both Dave and I are involved in this Lifelong Learning Institute in Sarasota, and I have a class today about music, about what music, I guess, what music means to you. And the part of the idea is you pick two or three songs that you want to talk about. So I sort of have my songs today. Class is at 12, and it took me. It was an interesting sort of exploration, thinking about songs that had meaning to me and why. So my
Mm-hmm.
song was Johnny Mathis. It's Not For Me to Say. Okay, this happened. My first dance, my first big time kiss, when I was
Ooh.
11 or 12 years old, dancing in somebody's dark basement. And when that song goes on, that's all I'm thinking about. It's just it sort of transports me from one place to
You're
another,
back.
and I'm back and I'm 11 and I have no idea what to do. And not that I do anymore, but I absolutely did then. Um, so, so my second song that I sort of selected, and you may not be that familiar with it, but it's called "A Cat's in the Cradle." It's by Harry Chapin. Harry Chapin was sort of an Irish poet, songwriter who we knew peripherally because he lived in the same where we grew up, where we had our children and all. And he was sort of a famous figure. Um, he traveled almost 300 days a year as a song,
Hmm.
for concerts and this and that. Um, he was unbelievably charitable, gave most of his money away.
Hmm.
We knew him when he was 35 or 40, a little bit, and started one of the largest um, food banks on Long Island. Now, Long Island has almost 6 million population, and
Wow.
he started this food bank, but he was never home. And he wrote this song, "A Cat's in the Cradle," about a father who's working all the time and doesn't and never gets to come home. And it sort of brings to mind what your priorities are. I mean, his priority was certainly um, to get his songs out and to talk about what he loved, but is also is I think often people that are like that their family comes second, not because they wanted to, but because they had to make a choice. So I thought that was really, I always think about that we have so many choices, and we try to make family first, but it doesn't always work that way. So
Yeah, I mean, that's a really interesting song. The son becomes the father in the end.
yes, yeah, and yeah. It's a
Yeah,
very strong, and
I,
he was an interesting guy. He died on the Long Island Road. He was a horrible driver, and he had an old beat up Volkswagen. Not that, but that's just who he was. And he just drove it in front of a truck and got
ooh,
on an exit. Yeah, got run over. So
wow,
I think he must have been 40 or 41.
wow,
Yeah. Anyway, on that
interesting. Okay. Uh, all right. On that note, on that happy note, uh, I'm gonna skip some things I had on my list here, and maybe we'll just go right to Shirley Jackson.
sure.
We're going to read as we warned people. We're going to